Alright, so in this tutorial I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about white pens. So the general rule of thumb with white pens is we use white pens to clean up minor mistakes or to add some negative space. Like if I wanted to put like a reflection or something in this black handle so it wasn't quite so flat, I would use a white pen to do that. You can use the white pen for outer space effects too. I'm still a fan of the old school method of a toothbrush with white paint for outer space effects, because it creates an inconsistent kind of dots. But regardless, that's what we use white pens for. If you make a big mistake or something, you got to start over. It's not to be thought of like liquid paper, and do not use liquid paper to fix your mistakes because liquid paper dries and cakes off, or sometimes the ink, if it's really nice heavy black ink, will bleed through it and turn your liquid paper into purple. So you don't want to do that. So there's a variety of ways that you can do it. I would recommend one way is you can get like Copic has a really nice opaque white, and it's in a little jar like this, and it looks dry right now, but it's water soluble. So you just put a little droplet of water in there and you can mix it. And get you a separate watercolor brush for your white, so you don't dip your inking brush in there and turn all your nice white into gray. And since it's water soluble, you don't really need to use saddle soap or anything to clean it off with. But that's one way to do it. And I was also taught once that you could use a little, just like a droplet, like an eyedropper or something, of vegetable oil, so it lasts longer. It doesn't evaporate like the water does. As far as white pens go, Posca pen is a good one. They come in two sizes, and they're like paint pens. Same with the Molotow, is like a paint pen. And with these guys, with paint pens, what I was taught is since you got to press it down to get the ink to flow, you got to be kind of careful of that, because then you'll get this big blob. So it's good to have a scrap, even when you're inking in general, best practices. Have a scrap paper handy that you can use it for that. So you could press it down to get the ink flowing. You shake it up first, shake it up really good first, and then you press down on your paper to get the ink flowing. And then come to your drawing and add in whatever highlights that you want. The Uniball is nice. It's like a Uniball pen basically, and it gives you really fine lines. So it's really good for that kind of stuff. And the ones that I tend to use more than anything are Faber-Castell Pitt pens, and so that was inked with Faber-Castell Pitt pen marker. But these I don't have to press to get going. I can just go straight to it, and I got a 1.5 and I got a brush. And so like if I wanted to clean up this area here, I can just paint on there. Like I said, if I want to add an area to it, I just paint on there. A common mistake that I see with some students trying to use pens is they're trying to get the paper white again, and it's kind of hard to do that with your thick pen. You gotta usually let it dry for a second and then go back over it again. In painting, we paint in layers anyway, so yeah, if you wanted to get it back to that kind of opaque white paper kind of look, you gotta let it dry a little first and then go back on top of it, because most of them are water soluble. So but I find the Molotows and the Poscas give me that nice, really bright, opaque white. And with Faber-Castells, I tend to have to build on it. And of course, the Copic gives me a nice, bright, opaque white, but you gotta paint it with a brush. But that's how you can use your white pens when you're drawing your graphics.